So we have our binding and we have our quilt. Now I like to start on the long side over here. This will be my bottom. This will be my top. Leave a tail, roughly 8 inches. You can either use your straight pins. I like to use binder clips. Now they have these cute little clips called Wonder Clips. They work marvelous. And I'm just gonna take and I'm just gonna clip it. When we go to stitch this, we're gonna stitch roughly 1/4 inch, maybe just a smidgen more, but at least 1/4 inch all the way down. And we're going to stop 1/4 inch from the corner down here. So I'm going to pin 1/4 inch. Because when we start sewing here, we're going to sew all the way down, and when we get here, we're going to back tack and we're going to cut our thread. Then I'm going to show you how to make this corner. We're going to make mitered corners. I am going to back tack. Okay, and remember, when we get to the pin, we're going to stop and back tack, and then we're going to cut our thread. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, get this up so you can see this. We're going to take our binding. Right now it's going straight across. We're going to take it and we're going to fold it back . Okay, to where our binding is actually straight in line with the edge of our quilt right here. Then we're going to take it and we're going to fold it back. So you're going to have this little flap right here. So I'm going to put this clip back on. Okay, now I'm going to move it under my machine. We're going to stitch 1/4 inch all the way down till we stop 1/4 inch from the end corner. Back tack. I can see the end down here. I'm going to put my pin back about 1/4 inch from the end. Now right here, if you can see, is where I joined my binding strips. They're pressed open, so we're just gonna walk over it carefully. Remember, when you get down to your 1/4 of an inch to back tack, now I'm going to show you this again. So we have our binding coming straight off. We're going to take it and we're going to fold it at to where we're straight. This is what it should look like when you have it folded. Then we're going to take it. You're going to finger press. Then bring it straight back down. I'm going to clip it. I'm not using my binder clips anymore. I'm just laying it straight and just holding it with my fingers. But if you feel more comfortable using your pins or your binder clips, then pin or use your binder clips. Put my pin in, 1/4 of an inch. We're going to take our binding and at about, remember, we're going to fold it, finger press, so our binding is following along the same edge as our quilt is over here. I'm going to finger press, then we're just going to fold it straight back. Now I'm going to clip this. Whoops, I came unthreaded. All right, we're in business now. I'm going to unclip this. We're going to get lined up at 1/4 of an inch. Needle down. Remember, we're going to back tack. sometimes you'll see me raise my presser foot up. Sometimes my binding, the top half of my binding wants to kind of walk, so I have to just kind of adjust it. I'm going to look, because this is the side that we started on. I want to leave enough room to work in here. So I'm going to probably stop at about right here. Maybe 12 inches, 10 to 12 inches. And then I'll show you how to connect it. Where I stop, I'm going to back tack. So, where you start, you're going to back tack, and where you stop, you're going to back tack. So, I have this opening right here. There are several different ways to bind this right here. Eventually, I will show you every way that I know. I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest for beginners. I'm going to take where we started. This is where we started. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to fold in anywhere between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and I'm going to finger press. Okay, can you see that? I folded it and I finger pressed it. I'm going to take this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my binder clip. I'm just going to clip it so it'll hold there. I'm going to take my ending strip. I'm going to lay it across. I'm going to come down. So here's where I folded in, and I've just got it clipped. I'm going to come past this point. So if this is my end, I'm going to come past probably about 3 inches or so. And then I'm going to trim. Just my tail off. So now I have this piece that I have folded in and my tail. They, as you can see, they're going to overlap. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to lay this piece in there. It's like I'm going to put it to bed and wrap it up. You want it to be pulled taut, but not too tight that it's going to pull and pucker. So if you need to, you can take this part and you can pin it. Lay this part down. Get it all nice and nestled in there. Lay this part back over. Pull your pin out and just repin. So now we're gonna stitch over this and it's all nice and nestled. I'm gonna back tack again. Now, as we come across this part that we have everything tucked in, just make sure and go slow so it doesn't unfold or try to go under your, on top of your presser foot. You might have to kind of raise your foot up a little bit and smooth it out right there. But that just looks just like another seam in there. And it's not going to pull out because we have it down in there long enough and it's all stitched together. So you have mitered your corners. So now we're going to take our binding and we're going to finger press it, but then we're going to take it to the iron. So we're going to roll it over, just kind of finger press all the way down. When you get to your corners, you're going to kind of roll it, but finger press. This is where we binded everything. So I'm going to move down here and we're just going to take this, we're going to roll it, just going to roll it over. And I'm going to use my binder clip and bind it. We're just going to do that all the way down. Okay. Now I'll meet you back over at the machine. We're almost going to stitch in the ditch right along our binding line, which means it's going to catch our back binding. Now I am using cream colored thread so you can see it. My advice to you is to use, if this was yours, I would use gray thread. I would use matching thread and matching bobbin. And when we get to the corner, I'm going to show you how to sew that mitered corner. So we're going to take, we've got this whole side folded up under. Even at the corner, we've got it folded up under. All the way to the corner. Okay, you see that? And then here's the back. If it was gray, it would be matching and you wouldn't even see it. So I'm going to take this. Now our back, we're just going to fold up. I'm going to clip that, then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to clip right here at this next. We're gonna, when we start sewing back, right there in the corner is where I'm gonna put my needle. And then we're going to start stitching right down here. To this corner down here, we're going to stitch all the way to where these meet. I'm going to fold this side under. We're going to take this and we're just going to fold it under. So at the back, it should look like an actual corner. I'm going to clip that. Remember, I'm going to drop my needle right in that corner.